But no, Beth York goes crashing down. Determination, the suffering, the ability to... And she's unleashed everything in this attack. See just how much that win means to him. All the marvels. Kayla versus Allison, and to the line. Kayla Laguna takes the victory. Hello everybody and welcome back here to the CVR World Cup Mixer page. As always, my name is Jesper Anchor, and during the next 2 hours of CVRcade Racing, I'll be guiding you through all the action. And is it just so great to be back? It felt strange. We got used to doing streams every Tuesday, every Thursday, every Saturday, and it was just so much racing non-stop. It was excitement, it was highlights, it was crashes, it was joys. It was a lot of prize money that went around, so some Christmases around the world got a lot more merrier. So I'm excited to be back. So today we are watching the CVRcade World Cup run-up, I believe the races are called here. So the season hasn't begun yet. We're in the run-up, we're getting people back in, we're getting people... I'm sure that there are a lot of riders who are on the platform today that are in here to shake out the cobwebs. They want to get back on, they've got Christmas in the rearview mirror, they've got New Year's in the rearview mirror, and now we're focusing about the next season of the CVRcade World Cup, and we're focusing on the new exciting tracks that are coming to the platform, the potential power-ups that are going to shake up Season 2. And if we look at who's made it into the broadcast today, because we've got a stacked field, we've got Quentin Molyneux, who's racing in here, your grand finale champion of Season 1 of the CVRcade World Cup. Nigel Doyle of New Zealand is ready to rock and roll. We've got the Flying Dutchman, Peter Kastrup. Can he return to his glory days here in Season 2 when that looks to begin? Frank Garcia has moved out of the commentary booth onto the bike, and he is ready to race. Niels Heldens, the Tempest of Team Cycling Up, he's ready to race as well. You can see him rocking the Dutch national jersey. Jennifer Garcia getting up early, usually one to race Zone T. She's joining us here for Zone K. We've got the bracketed session tournament champion in Tim Fulford rocking a pedal power outfit today. Joining us last minute as well, we've got Ben Shuilong. These will be the riders on the broadcast today. But looking at the start line, there's several other riders. Batista is in here. It's good to see she's ready. Alison Kubota. Phil Lovett is in here. I think he runs a pretty cool YouTube channel called Bike Racing Without Mercy or Biking Without Mercy. We'll see if he can translate that mantra into the racing. Casey's here, but we'll see him as the racing begins. I want a quick word from none other than Frank Garcia. Frank, you spent the last month or two commentating. What's it like to be back?
My legs hurt. I'm tired. Can we go home now?
Well, you are home.
I'm really excited to be back in the saddle again. But it'll be a little bit of a road back. You know, that commentating makes you mushy. You should know, Jesper.
I can confirm that. I can confirm. But I will be racing. If everything plans out, I may actually be racing this coming Saturday, Frank. So whatever you go through today, I'll be going through on Saturday. Anything you're excited for today, first time back?
What you're saying is I might be able to beat somebody on Saturday. I'm looking forward to that.
If you get up early, though, because Zone E, I mean, that is early for you.
Oh, yeah, that is very early. You should do one a little bit later. But, well, yeah, no, I'm just excited to be back on the platform, getting ready for the run-up. You know, lots of exciting stuff coming, asking, you know, about places that people want to go, and, you know, for a friend. But we'll see how it goes.
You've got always plenty of friends. Good luck, Frank, here as the low skill event is going to get underway here. So we have changed the name for the no-skill events because let's be honest, they are no-skill. They do require a bit of training, of planning and executing. So from now on, they are part of the low-skill bracket. We've got 2 laps of Echelon. We have got corner K-burst and ability, quantum shift, and uncrashable. And you've got 1 comeback kit in here. So early on, we see off the back Nigel Doyle just sticking with the bots here. So not sure what happened to Nigel Doyle here, but he's finding himself with Clarence here off the back. Let's see if we can turn on his audio. What's happened here, Nigel?
Oh, I'm just cruising today. I did VO2 max intervals yesterday, so I'm a bit fatigued today, so I'm just cruising.
Well, as always, room for that here in the run-up. We'll let you get back to the cruising now. You may have seen the viral post on the CVRcade Riders Forum. Jennifer Garcia showed her new Bontrager shoes that she's been painting with Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, those shoes are clip-in shoes or clipless shoes, which means she's attached to the pedals. First time ever attached, so we'll keep an eye on here to see how that changes things, because when you are clipped in, it does make a world of difference when it comes to power transferring from your from your legs down through the pedals into the bike. But I'm really interested to see who comes into the new year and comes out executing, because today's race, I mean, this particular race is all about the honor, it's all about the glory of winning the first race of 2020, but there's no significant prize purse on the line for this particular race, because we know, the ethos of CVRcade and the CVRcade World Cup is to champion the community, and that's why, I mean, Tim, who won the bracketed session, and Quintin Molyneux, who won the grand finale, each of them took over $5,000 away. Now, I believe there may be some prize purses coming to the run-up here, but nothing confirmed just yet. And so, it'll be interesting to see who shakes off the cobwebs the quickest. Because you've had Christmas dinner, you've had your night out on New Year's Eve. Who's been training secretly? Who's been keeping their fitness up? Who's getting ready for that season 2? And you heard what Frank said. He's asking for a friend about different destinations, and Frank doesn't always do that. So when he does, you should probably be paying attention. 1 lap to go here on Echelon. Comeback kit is available. Who will be the first one to pull the trigger? I can see Phil Lovett, who's in here today in his first ever race. He's going through the experience of physical equalization. So the game is figuring out how strong he is, and it's putting him through all these tests. So you come in as a Cade cadet, and the more you race, the more you ride, the more confident the platform gets in your ability, and the more equalized you get. And that way you can ride with the front group. Now, we've got the turn coming up here. This is usually where we see Team Cognition, led by Moti P. Kelney. They attack, and then they have somebody use a comeback kit, but so far everybody's got a bit of a truce. Nobody's attacking. Vivek is at 187. You've got Jennifer Garcia at 186. You've got a few riders. You've got Frank at 194, so definitely feeling it. On the stream right now, you see Niels Heldens. He's got his laser focus. He's looking at the screen. He is ready. As I say that, you guys, this is why the streams are awesome, guys. This is why it's fun. Everyone getting in on it, but who's going to be the first one to launch? 600 meters remain. Quintin, we've seen him spin out a few times in the sprints. Can he... Did he get a bigger gearing for Christmas? Is he ready here for the low skill event of the day? You've got Jennifer Garcia also on the front. As she lets go, is she gonna attack? No, nobody just yet. Everybody is waiting and waiting. It's a game of chicken. And first up, it looks like Sebastian Kuhn is going, and Frank Garcia with 1900 equalized watts goes over the top. He gets caught by Peter Kastrup. He gets caught by Niels Heldens, and through the line, I think Niels Heldens may actually just have taken that one ahead of Peter Kastrup. We'll wait and see as the results finalize. But no, it looks like Peter Kastrup took the win. Let's see the instant replays. So here you've got Nigel Doyle, who was off the back earlier in the racing. Now, the results have updated, and Peter Kastrup, the Flying Dutchman of Team CCC, takes the first win of the year ahead of Quintin Molyneux. Niels Heldens gets 3rd, Frank gets 4th, Ben in 5th, Casey 6th, Jennifer 7th, and Allison further down, as we can now see the final 400 meters. No one wanted to go early. They're all afraid of the draft. They're thinking, if I go early, someone might be able to use their comeback kit and come around me. And here you can see Sebastian Kuhn, 1,000 equalized watts. He goes first. Then Frank Garcia goes second. I mean, 1,800 watts have never looked so calm and composed. You can see the smile on his face as well. He knows, but at the end of the day, the cunning, clever strategy by Peter Kastrup nets him the first win of the year. Let's go talk to the Flying Dutchman. Peter, congratulations. First win of the year. Should everyone just go home? This is it? 2020 completed?
Yeah, I'm done. No, it's just beginning.
That was good. That was a good race. I mean, you saw Frank go, you saw Sebastian go, you timed your...
Yeah.
Like, do you still remember the timing? Because it's been so long since you raced.
I think I was a bit late today, but nobody else started the sprint, so I guess I was just lucky no one did, because there's a certain strategy you have to do in order to get the most of the draft and to get the fastest sprint. But it only works if you time it right. So yeah, worked out.
It definitely worked out for you. Sorry?
Yeah, let me just say it's really good to see Frank on the bike again.
Wow. I think I speak for everybody when I say that we all believe that having Frank back on the platform, it does bring a smile to everybody, even when it's 1,800 equalized watts with a smile on his face. Peter, I'll let you get ready and focus for this next race. We did see Quinton Molyneux there at the end. Quinton waiting and waiting and waiting. Why do you think everyone waited so long?
I think everybody is starting to realize that the biggest thing that you can do wrong in a no-skill event is to go early. And that makes everybody just wait for the last minute. I think everybody is gunning for like the 200 or 300 meter mark and then just launch it. I didn't have enough gears. It was very close in the end, but Peter timed it perfectly, so props him.
Should have changed your Christmas wish list, man. Bigger gearing. Who knows? Maybe that $5,000 can be double. But what's that music I hear in the background?
That's my other headset. That's currently playing.
That's your headset. How loud is your music?
Yeah, it's on full blast.
That is crazy. Well, Quentin, mountain bike by Jesper coming up. I'll let you get ready and prepare with the rest. I do see that we have 94 people currently watching us here on Mixer. You rock. I do have the chat open, and I saw one particular comment from DC Ryan. Now, he says this is the best thing he's ever seen on Mixer. You know what? I agree with you. So it's physical esports. So you've just seen Frank, you've seen Quinton, you saw Peter who win the previous race. They are physically riding their bikes. If we go to somebody, we see Nigel, who was smiling earlier. In his time zone, he is racing early in the morning before work. He's getting on here. He is pedaling away. You got the same thing for Jennifer Garcia. And what they're doing is they're preparing for this grand tournament that runs ever so often during the year called the CVRcade World Cup. And we've just concluded Season 1 last year, and we're getting ready for Season 2. And if you want to get involved, you can too, because it's esports for everybody thanks to something we call physical equalization. And it kind of takes out the fact that, like, it doesn't matter what your background in cycling is. It doesn't really matter if you have the latest, Track Madone or a Canyon, Aero Road. It doesn't matter. Physical equalization levels the playing field. Everybody can race regardless of their backgrounds, regarding their price entries. And did I forget to mention that this game is actually free to play? So if you want to try it, go to CVRcade.com, CVRcade.com, and download. There's 2 more races in this zone, and then after that, there's still another zone, so there's an hour and a half, an hour and 50 more minutes here of racing. So you can get involved if you want to, DC Ryan. But here we go. This is a track that I created back in the early days of CVRcade. CVRcade. It's a mountain bike track. You are riding with one of the themes that is the mountain bike theme. So you can see Jennifer here on a mountain bike. She's being followed by Frank Garcia. And Frank right now sitting in the draft at 281 equalized as he puts on a block here. So we're getting some congestion here. You've got to be careful you don't crash, because we have all the outside dynamics of cycling taken indoors. I mean, the physics are unreal when it comes to CVRcade. If you're sitting in the draft, like Frank is right now, he is the rider in the green, he's getting about 36-40% draft from the rider in front of him, meaning he has to produce less power, meaning there's strategy, meaning every decision you make has an impact on the grand scheme of things. And you can see the teams on display. You've got Casey Shum, who's a late bloomer for Team Cycling Hub now, as Frank Garcia goes on to the attack. And this is another element of CVRcade. It's the power-ups. It is cycling that's gamified. Frank Garcia used a power plant and he used a wind at his back. And you only get one of each in this race. Now, a power plant gives you 100 extra watts, which is essentially the measurement of speed of your effort. That's the equalized watts in the game. And then wind at your back is the one thing I think everybody wishes they could have in real life. It turns whatever wind out on course, even if there is no wind, into a tailwind, and it adds it makes it a 20 kilometers an hour tailwind. So we come through Peter Castrop corner. If you bring down the scoreboard, you'll see the overall standings as it is right now, because we're racing in Omnium. We're racing several races in one. 4 events come together and make up an Omnium. Peter won the first one, but it was a lower scoring multiplier. The second one is higher at 2. And now we got Ben Shuilong, who was the late bloomer of the CVRcade World Cup. He was really getting into his own, just missing the lethal edge when he qualified into the grand finale. And now we're seeing a deja vu. Quinton Molinés, Ben Shuilong, these two duked it out in the CVRcade World Cup grand finale, and now they're duking it out again. 145 viewers, say hello in the chat right now if you're watching. Even if you're just driving by on the front page of Mixer, click on the page, come on in and join our chat as you're watching the future of esports from around the world. Imagine a stadium full of people watching these physical efforts taking place both in real life but also on virtual real estate. EU Monkey is in here, Michisiku Now is in here, 330 FWM saying hi. So Jennifer, Nils, you got Peter further down as well. This corner was named after him, Peter Castrop, when he's one of the first pioneers of the platform. I saw Peter get on the game. He was riding this track that I created using the in-game track builder, and we were riding together, and he just would not stop crashing in that corner. So now there's a flag there, and it is his real estate, but it's coming together here. You've got teams. You've got Cognition in the blue, which is Sebastian, who is using his power-ups. So here you've got the Sebastian Kuhn with a power plant, and Ben Shuilong goes down on the inside. I think he just overlapped the wheels there, and he goes down. So Sebastian trying to bridge the gap to the front. But what we are seeing here in the run-up to the CVRcade World Cup is that Quinton Molinés, when he's got it, he's just got that bit, he's got that edge above the rest here, as he has got a 1 second gap. He's waiting for his teammate Casey Shum to get up there, and then they'll try and solidify their lead up towards the front. But further back, the group is chasing well together, or it was for a second. As you see, you've got Tay Fearless in the chat as well. You got Timothy Tomont saying, is the group staying together for a while? Who will attack next? As Casey crashes, I think he crashes in Castrop corner as well. So interesting crash from him, but Team Cycling Hub's on the front. Peter further down, Chris further down, Vibeke, Bertram as well. It's far from over. We're halfway through the racing here, and we've got 4 laps remaining. Nils is trying to chase down his teammate. We've got Sebastian Kuhn. Now, Sebastian made a name for himself in the CVRcade World Cup from being, 1, absolutely hilarious, and 2, very, very, very good at CVRcade. So he'd be on the stream like everybody else is right now. I'd go to him, I'd ask him, Sebastian, I mean, you just won that race. How do you feel? He's like, I'm dead. I'm dead. I've got nothing. He'd go into the next race, absolutely obliterate the competition. I'd ask him, how are you feeling? He'd go, I'm even more dead. I've got nothing. And it just keeps getting better. And guess what? He'd go back in and win another race. Now, I think we're seeing a family bond happening here. So Jennifer and Frank have been joined by the hip in this race from the beginning to the end. Jennifer on the front, giving a helping hand to Frank here, giving a draft, as Frank is at 309 equalized heart rate. So Frank Garcia has been out of the game for a bit. He's helped me in the commentary booth, which has been excellent, as the commentary has been really elevated to another level. But Frank is a racer at heart. He's getting back into the action, and when you first get back in, you see your equalized heart rate, your equalized watts, they've got to get set. And so that's why 200 is the max. But Frank is in here, and the game is figuring out just how strong he is again and where his heart really lays here. As you see, Doodad Athlete saying Sepp the Destroyer might make a move. So yes, he's trying to do so, but you've got the Armada that is Team Cycling Hub on the front. They've got Quinton leading it, they've got Casey and Nils in second and third, then they've got Sebastian further down. What is the move here? How do you get back up to the front group? Because Sebastian, on his own, there's not a Cognition member inside. He's got Allison further back, but that's about it. Now Nils stands up. You can see the sweat starting to drop from his face, so the effort is real out here. So he tries to wipe it off, but we're not going to quite see the Sebastian Vettel celebration on this track, but there is more racing coming up here. As he sits in second place. What's Frank Garcia going to do? Because he has got a chance here to bridge it back up. A late comeback here could be on the cards here. As you can see, Quinton in the lead. You've got Frank Garcia chasing him down. 2 laps remain. The gap is 8 seconds. First 2 riders inside. It's Team Cycling Hub. We go on board. Frank chooses to go on the wheel of Nils. So what that tells me is that he's more content about getting second in this one than trying to catch back up to Quinton Molineux. So he's going to see if he can scratch away some points. As you can see on the left side of the screen, there's a scoreboard. Right now, Frank would find himself in 4th, but there's plenty of racing left, as we've got Rocky Mountains and sudden lane change up after this. Now, how are they going to play this now? Because there's a 3-rider group here, and I know that Frank, he's got one eye back as well, because he wants to see if he can bring Jennifer back up perhaps, and the 2 of them can take the most amount of points with him. But we're about to enter the bell lap here on mountain bike by Jesper. It's been good racing. We've got Quinton in the lead here. I think it's Tim who's being lapped, or Chris who's being lapped out on course. Now, Mixer chat, I do see we have 188 people joining us in here. If you are enjoying the racing, make sure to say hi in the chat. Click the follow button. Use some embers. Use some sparks. Get in here. Make some noise for these racers now, as a very real effort is being put on the line here for your entertainment, for the fun of the game, to really make a statement here. It's Frank Garcia. I think he's just trying to attack, but he's getting pulled back ever so slightly by the rubber band as Tim comes around. And right now, out on track, is that we have Quinton, we've got Nils, we've got Casey, we've got Tim. 4 Cycling Hub riders all together, as Casey uses wind at his back. I think all gloves are off, all bets are off. I think every Team Cycling Hub member today, they want to do as well as they can. When they get to the end, it is mano a mano, it's one-on-one, who can take the victory. And with a 3-second gap, Quinton Molineux will be the winner of Mountain Bike by Jesper. An early move, very well done. Never really in doubt for Quinton. There was maybe a moment where Frank could have gotten back. He wins it. You can see first of the year 2020 off to a good start for him. Nils will get 3rd, Tim will get 4th, and Homer Thompson will come over the line in 5th unless Jennifer can come around. She cannot. Cognition rider Homer Thompson with a late, that is a fantastic result from Homer of Team Cognition. Frank did try his best there, though. You can see the effort coming back from a while out. Ben also with his head down. Peter winning the previous race, taking this one, finishing in 10th. just want to get back in. And then Nigel Doyle enjoying his picnic. He's got his bread basket. He's got his little duvet. He's got everything ready to go. As now we've got the instant replay coming up here of Quentin crossing again. I did just see an interesting comment in the chat that says, Crucial Ball 5591 says, oh, just gotta make sure we go to the next event. Swift is 5 million times better. They actually care about their riders. I got no notice CVR started back. Well, Crucial Ball, I'm sorry that you didn't get a notice, but consider this your official notice, because we do care about our riders. I mean, look at the people on the platform. You can see the smiles, you can see the joys, the trials and tribulations that everyone has been through. CVRcade is a free-to-play platform. You can jump on now. The CVRcade World Cup has not officially yet started. Season 2 hasn't started yet. Get back in, get racing with us, get on right now, because this is the platform that cares about the people. We are the community. That's really what we stand for. And let's go and talk to Quentin there, because he didn't need a bigger gearing for it. But Quentin, what's going on?
I dropped my chain.
Oh, rookie mistake. Now it's a shame that we cut away to the replay. I would love to have seen Quentin try and get the chain back on during the broadcast. But first win out of the way, Quentin. Is it good to get those jitters gone?
Yeah, I think so. I really wanted to win the second race. Because I know that this race for Rocky Mountain is going to be very tough, and I mean I'm thinking that Frank is just going to send it from the start to finish with Jennifer. So I'm prepared for a lot of suffering.
Well, let's hear if that is the plan. So we've also got Jennifer and Frank in the broadcast. We've got Jennifer. Jennifer, the last race looked like a lot of fun with you and Frank. Was there a bit of a coalition? Was there a plan to work together?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's an assumed thing at this point that we'll help each other out. So, unspoken thing there that was trying to go on. We both had our little like pushes and pulls with the riders up front. But you know, honestly, for coming back, like for him coming back for the first time, and for me coming back with new shoes after a long break, I'm pretty happy with just. I think it was 6th. I was really happy for Homer too. He totally got me by like this much. I knew he was coming up. And I should have pushed a little bit harder, a little bit sooner. But I think if I'm not too dead, we can do what I think it was Quentin who was saying we might pull one here. So.
Yeah, what's it like to be feared? You've got Quentin who just won the last race saying, oh, I think Frank and Jennifer is going to make this a hard one.
Oh, it's all play. Quentin knows how good he is. He's just trying to have some humility, I think. But we definitely won't make it easy for him, that's for sure.
Fighting talk, I do like it. 50 seconds until the next race begins. It's good to see the riders returning back. You've got Vibeke Bertram as well, who is not in the stream today, but she is also quickly becoming a fan favorite as she single-handedly carried one of the broadcasts I will never forget. Always just, she's an amazing person. Good to see her back in. Good to see Chris Pritchard as well back in the racing. He's got some good streams going on his YouTube channel. Exciting to see what he can bring to the table. Another rider for Team Cycling Hub to extend their dominance at the top. This is going to be exciting. We've got 2 laps of Rocky Mountains coming up here. I think everyone's eyes are going to be on Frank Garcia and Jennifer Garcia, because you heard that from Quentin. They do fear this early attack, and this is where Jennifer initially first made her name known. She attacked from the gun on Rocky Mountains. She got a gap, and she never looked back. And that is something that Frank Garcia has done as well. But Tim, awake to it. He's got, I think that was Underdog that he used from the gun. So there are 3 power-ups available. You've got Weight Lifted, you've got Path of Least Resistance, and you've got Underdog. Now, Underdog is a power-up that has not been used much in the rotation of last year's CVRcade World Cup Season 1. Now, Underdog is the power-up that gives you 100 extra watts for every person ahead of you. So if you're at the back, if you're someone like Peter Castro right now in 12th place, you would get 1100 extra watts for 10 seconds to go through. Now that's a very powerful power-up, but you only get one, so you've got to use it at the right time. There you can see, oh sorry, it's been reduced. It's 50 watts. Mutt KG out there to save me. Nils goes down. He crashes. He overlaps the wheels. So maybe a slight lapse of concentration from the otherwise very focused Nils Heldens. He finds himself with Sebastian Kuhn, the Destroyer. There is a wind in this track as well, as now Frank at 301 equalized heart rate. You can see Frank feeling the wind. We know how much he loves the wind. I think he might be feeling this track, feeling Rocky Mountains. But on the other end of the spectrum, you've got Quentin Molyneux on the front, leading with Casey, leading with Tim. And they've also got Nils Heldens, who is coming back from that crash. So interesting group of riders. As Nils goes down again, I think he pressed the wrong button. He got path of least resistance, and now it is a power-up that can go both ways. It reduces the friction between the wheels or the tires and the ground. Now, it is great to accelerate. Like right now, path of least resistance would be great. Not in a corner, because it's like riding on ice. You slide out, you crash, then you gotta come back up. So now we see Underdog getting used. Get used to this animation. It's 50 equalized watts, 50 watts more, as Mutt KG put it in the chat. And Nils knows he needs to get back to the front, where currently Jennifer Garcia and Homer Thompson are residing. I am very impressed to see Homer on the last track get up there in 5th, I believe it was, because Homer is known for being the diesel engine. Like, give him Summit Islands, which is his favorite track, and he is just gonna ride through it. He's gonna cut right through the mountains like it's Swiss cheese, no problems whatsoever. But Homer, when it comes to the more explosive style racing, he doesn't seem to have the same lethal edge. But today, I mean, this is a rejuvenated Homer Thompson. This is, 2020, new year, new me. Homer Thompson is bringing it. Somewhere, I know Moti P. Kelly in his lunch break, he's watching this saying, "Come on, Homer, you can do it." He may even be in the audio chat in the game. So, 400 equalized watts, but he's not getting anywhere. Tim, Casey, they're utilizing the draft. The wind is coming from the side at 4 kilometers an hour, and they're trying to get that draft effect as they come on through. You got DK Mansuni saying go Vibeke, so there's a fan for Vibeke in the chat. Ollie Port as well using some sparks. Who are you a fan of? Are you team Tim? Are you team Homer? Are you team Quinton? Jennifer here at the back being forced to use a weight lifted just to get back on, but doing well. But if you compare the heart rates, you can see the emphasis of having teammates makes the difference. Quentin, Casey, and Tim around 170, 180, 10 to 20 beats lower than Homer and Jennifer currently out on track, as Jennifer here again just loses control, has to use another power up. It gets tough. At this point, it's just mind over matter. You've got to fight on through. But you've also got riders behind you coming through. Nils Heldens is making it back up. And I see that Channel 1 has just joined us. Channel 1, you join us at a great moment. We've got 2 laps of Rocky Mountains here on display. Homer Thompson is taking up the mantle on the front. Physical esports, we're back after a holiday break. You've seen Season 1 of the CVRcade World Cup last year, where there was a $25,000 overall prize person. We're now back getting ready for Season 2, where more money will be won, more races will be had, and more emotions. Nils here on the back. Just look at the face. If you contrast this to the last race, night and day, and Jennifer here using her underdog power-up. So this is all or nothing. She's used one weight lifted, she got back on, she got dropped. She used another weight lifted, she got back on, she got dropped. Now she's using underdog. But this is the toughest part, because you're just within reach of the front group. But you've got to get back on, because when you dangle out here, you're not getting much of a draft. Her only saving grace is that it looks to be a headwind in this current moment out on the track. So if she can get back up, she's getting that advantage. But Team Cycling Hub is not going to make this easy. You've got 3 blue and orange riders. Quinton, winner of the grand finale of Season 1 CVRcade World Cup. You've got Tim Fulford, winner of the bracketed session tournament in Season 1 CVRcade World Cup. So they've got it all planned. Homer still jogging away. Casey going to the front as well. If we look backwards, You got Ben Shuey along of CCC. He's trying to get back to the front. He's fighting to get back up here. So what can he do? But yes, Channel 1, you're watching physical esports. Ben is riding his bike. You can see his spare wheels up to the top right corner. If he gets a flat out on track, he quickly jumps off the bike. He changes the tire. He's ready to go again. These riders from around the world, they're riding their bikes without having to leave their houses. So if it's poor weather outside, or if they feel like getting some good exercise in, they can get on the bike. Oh, and by the way, there's the CVRcade World Cup, which is just the pinnacle of physical esports, which brings together riders of different ages, different demographics, and different like genders to race together for one common goal, which is just to have fun, win money, and stream right here on Mixer. You've got FG Le Pew. Great name, by the way. If Frank was here, he'd say name envy. Says, this is nuts, and it is, but it's so much fun. I mean, the tactics that go into all of this, it's crazy. Like, you've got Tim, who right now is on audio chat with his team. He's the team leader of Team Cycling Hub. He's got Quinton on his right. He's got Casey up here on the front. And right now, they're discussing strategy. Who goes when? Who takes what turns? Who attacks? Who stays back? How are you feeling? What are you thinking? Because when we bring down the scoreboard, this is what they're racing for. They're racing for the overall Omnium. They're thinking it's not just about this race. It's about the next race and the two before it. The overall scoring is what matters overall. Now, it's currently occupied by not one, not two, but 3 Cycling Hub riders. And Homer Thompson is the piece de resistance who's trying to get back up here, get back on terms. Looking further back, we've got the bot patrol, which is being patrolled today by Nigel Doyle. So usually dancing on the stream, he's here with Orville, with Clarence, I think it is. He's dancing back again. Allison further down, Jennifer's up, and so if you are enjoying this, if you're enjoying the personalities that are on stream, if you're enjoying the people, head over to our social media, which is CVRcade, and you can talk to these riders. So on CVRcade's Facebook page or CVRcade Riders Facebook group, these riders are there. They're there all the time. And so if you want to ask them questions, if you think, I mean, Jennifer today is riding clipped in for the first time, that can be an experience. If you want to ask them about that, you can do so on the social media pages. Ben seems to have been dropped off the front. He was with Nils for a bit. He was with Jennifer. Now, two laps is hard. 2 laps is a long time of Rocky Mountains. You've really got to have the numbers in your team. And Ben has got his teammate in Peter Kastrup. He's got Nigel Doyle out there as well. They're missing a rider out here now that Homer Thompson has left to go to Cognition. That was the move of the year last year, together with Casey Shum, of course. But Nils has had 2 crashes so far, and that's the reason why he's not in the front group. So Nils in the 5th place right now. He crashed not once but twice, and now he's fighting for it. He's not getting the draft, and he knows his 3rd place on the spot right now, just ahead of Tim. So Cycling Hub taking 1st through 4th right now on the Omnium scoreboard. You can see that guy Wonka says, go Jennifer. He also says, thank you to Mott KG. Do that athletes ask, is Jenna wearing the custom design shoes? Well, remind me again when we go to do the interviews, I will go and ask. But Nils, getting back on. What can Homer do, though? Because this is a breakout performance for Homer. Homer has been brilliant. He's been in there. He's been good. But to be in this position, surrounded by Cycling Hub riders, it's impressive. But it looks like Cycling Hub have it all under control. Tim is at 141 equalized heart rate. So he's calm. He's got the situation ready. Nils gets back on. They were waiting to bring Nils back here as well. So what does Homer do here? I mean, this is a true David versus Goliath situation. You've got 3 riders who are all trying to put you in the gutter. They don't want to give you a draft. You can see here from above, Nils in 2nd place. And then you've got Quinton in 3rd as they're getting ready. They're moving over, making sure that Homer doesn't get a draft. And the way you do that is by doing what they're doing currently, is you've got like a 3-lane wide pellet or echelon. And then the only position left is on the left side here of Quinton. But as you can see, the road kind of runs out. So there is no spot there on the left-hand side. But that was only one of 2 laps. Here they're going to go again. Now, Freddy, I see in the chat, says, how much is this game? Well, this game is free to play. You can head to CVRcade.com right now. If you've got the equipment, if you've got the bike, you can jump on. If you've only got a keyboard, you can still jump on. If you want to join the next race, which starts in 8 kilometers time, you can do so. We've got sudden lane change coming up. CVRcade is free to play. So Homer's still in here. Casey is off the front. It's fascinating to see what Cycling Hub are going to do here, because I think they're going to ride as a team until the latter parts of the mountain. They're getting on to the second lap here, which is the last lap of Rocky Mountains. And, oh, Homer Thompson having a bit of a technical difficulty there, taking out Nils. Now, that was not intentional, or it could have been a gapping Homer. You never know. His good friends will block it, the Rocket, Jonathan Heron. You never know, as you can just see from above. At the back there, in the blue, Homer, he's riding, then he goes to 0. He puts on a block. Nils doesn't react in time, so you never know if Homer has been taking lessons. But ultimately, it looks like coming out on the other end, Homer is being distanced. So our lone resistance against the domination here of Team Cycling Hub today is hanging on. So chat, he needs all the support he can get right now. Let's see. Go on, Homer. Come on. How much do you believe in Homer Thompson? Because Ben is coming from the back here as he uses weight lifted to try and get back up, but Ben and Sebastian trying to come from further back and ruin Homer's party. So Michael Renari says, so I just ordered the bike and the rig to play. How do I get into this stream when the time comes? Michael, that is a great question. So this stream is run through something called vMix, and it's very simple software. Now these racers, they get a link from me, and then they just join in. So Michael, what I recommend, and by the way, welcome to the CVRcade community. You are absolutely amazing. But what I recommend you doing, Michael, is joining the Facebook group called CVRcade Riders. So CVRcade space or Riders. In there, we'll chat, and then you will see when we go live, and that way you can join into the stream. So welcome. The easiest way to get into the stream is to join the Facebook group that is called CVRcade Riders. But welcome to the community. Your boy Squid says, let's go Casey. So we got a Casey fan in there. Casey, 187, and I mean, let's not forget, I mean, that is probably the second defining moment of CVRcade's esports history. There was the Dark Matter Velo blooper, a crash mistake, I don't know what you want to call it. Quinton, Timothy, they can't shake it. It runs with them. They came in. They're almost in the bracketed session finale. So much money between going through and not going through. And with 10 meters to go, they both crashed. They both went down. And Quinton went down, and they both went out. The second, defining moment was when Casey, who was the dominant competitor from Team Experimental, chose to join forces with Team Cycling Hub. And you see, this is one rider from Team Cycling Hub. This is two from Team Cycling Hub. You got 3 in the front. You've got Quinton. Now, the reason why they're so good is that they put in the effort, they put in the time, they look at the tracks and they learn the nuances of the game, because like it's physically equalized. So no matter your experience, no matter your physical strength, like if you were to take Tim out on the real road and compare him with someone like Quinton, like Tim would probably be stronger. But here on the platform, Quinton won the grand finale. And so physical equalization comes in and looks at your effort level. How deep are you willing to go? How long can you go for? And it normalizes that. And it makes it for a really fun, engaging game. But today, it seems like Cycling Hub, they want to start 2020 off. And if we look at the scoreboard, it's kind of interesting if we can look at it here, because Casey is leading, but Quinton is in second place by 1 point. So the overall win here is very much up for grabs and they're all gonna race. They're all gonna race their hearts out. They all want to say, 2020, first race back, I was the champion. I mean, it has almost as much carry weight as winning the grand finale, or at least I would assume so, as the bragging rights are on the line for the rest of the day. Now, we're coming up to the last 5 kilometers. Casey has a 13-second lead. Cycling up, they're continuing their pace line. Nils comes to the right here. He lets Tim come on through. And so this is where the dynamics of cycling, the physics, really shine on through. They have a 3-man pace line, just like in real life you would. You have one rider taking the head-on force of the wind on the front. You've got Tim using a power bus. Homer! No! Homer is getting back on, but again, the encounter with path of least resistance sees him crashes. So power-ups, vital part of the game, but when you use them like that, you will end up crashing. So again, path of least resistance reduces the friction between the tires and the road. Come into a corner, you use it, it'll be like driving on ice, and I think we've all tried that, and you just slide on out. So now he's got to be careful. It looks like the butt patrol is heavily populated. Let's see if we can hear from Nigel. Nigel, how is the butt patrol behaving today?
Oh, not too bad. There's a few people sort of putting their brakes on just to try and break it up, and that's a bit of fun. I think things will get interesting in another couple of K, where the people decide to break away from it and go for it.
Sounds like you need to like whip out the whip and tell people to behave in the butt patrol down there. Some anarchy, Nigel. Can't have that. I'm excited to see the finale of this for you guys, but I'll let you get concentrated as it's spicing up towards the front as well. Now Quinton is taking his turn. I mean, Casey, Quinton, Nils, Tim, they're competitors. They want to try and win this one. They know it. You can see the smile on Quinton's face. He knows that they're in a good position here, but it's about finishing it off. Now, as you see, a question in the chat from that guy Wonka says, did the riders have their own mixer streams going live? Some do stream on their own channels. That is true. I know Casey has streamed a bit. I know that Tim used to stream a bit on his Cycling Hub page as well. So some of the riders do stream here. As Tim uses weightlifted, so 30 kilograms lighter to stay with Quinton and with Nils, and the equalized heart rates are coming up. So here we go. The racing is on. They may all be wearing the same colors, the same flag, but now as individuals, this is gonna be fun because Tim is kind of the lead dog. He is the team captain of Team Cycling Hub. So do you see Quinton and Nils perhaps teaming up a tiny bit? Do they try and work together because they know he's so strong, or do they look together? What do you do? Do you put on a blog? Do you not put on a blog? Regardless, Open Omnivore, welcome to the stream. By the way, guys, if you are enjoying it and if you're thinking this is interesting, you've got the setup, you want to race, we stream every Tuesday, every Thursday, every Saturday, several hours every day. If you want to keep up to date, there's a follow button down below. We're almost at 7,000 followers, so make sure to do that. As Channel 1, it's been a pleasure. Make sure to click somewhere to watch the end of the stream. There's still an hour or so left. You're not done just yet, so stick around. There's still an hour and 20 left of physical esports. And if you did stick around, well, there's a reason why. And click a follow button down below. If you feel extra spicy, the subscribe button can give you some extra emotes and some extra privileges in the chat. Quinton, Tim, Nils, Homer, the lone survivor off the back, who has been fighting. He's been there. Now he's trying to get back on terms. Great racing in the last one. Now this one. Quinton, third place. Sudden lane change is up in the next one. That's going to be good. Ash Treeks asks, how far are they going? They've got 2 kilometers left. Top right-hand corner, you can see what they've got. I think Quinton is just changing the music there. I think he's getting the right song on. I think he's on his phone. He's finding the playlist. Chat, if you were about to do a sprint finish, an all-out effort, what song would you choose? What's your go-to workout song? I think Quinton right now, he's got Eye of the Tiger going on. You know, Rocky Balboa. He's ready to land a knockout punch. We'll see. Nils getting ready as well here as he was just accelerating through. We're on the descent now, Rocky Mountain. So you got to be ready. There's one more incline, I think. But if you compare the faces, I like Ash Treek saying Baby Shark. That is an interesting choice, but we're not gonna judge here. We're for esports for everybody, even people that like Baby Shark. That guy Wonka says, "Work hard, play hard." That's a good song. You've got One More Time by Sunshower. Batista, great taste here. But Casey's gonna win with Nils. Nils goes on to the attack. 900 equalized watts. He stands up. Tim is awake. You can see Tim not even really worrying about the draft. He's got the hair in place. He's ready. I think he's looking back to see how far the window is opened to get some more air in. As you got Casey saying Baby Shark as well. Casey's enjoying it. Good song choices, everybody. Heartbreaker from Doodad Athletes. Here comes the incline, though. Somebody is bound to go. There it is. Quentin, underdog from the front. So I think he just wants to use everything. Stands up with Eye of the Tiger in his ears. Path of least resistance. Weight lifted and underdog. So underdog seeing use. Maybe not the most optimal usage of it, but he is going away on the front. As Casey Shum has got 600 meters left. He will most likely win it, but you can see Nils' face here. The sweat getting into his eyes. Can he get back on? This is Quinton versus Nils. Battle of the Benelux with Tim fourth. It doesn't look like Tim is going to try and come over the top here. Nils stands up once more here. Ash Cheek asks, can they melee each other from other bikes? You can't melee each other, but there is a flat tire power up in the game. So if you want to, hand out some Tic Tacs on the road and try and cause a flat tire, you can do so if the power up is selected for the certain event. But Quinton turning himself inside out here, but crossing the finish line. Ladies and gentlemen, take your cap off for Casey Shum here as he wins the third race of the day, puts himself in a good position, but Quinton Bolognese, he's got one more race left here, just like the rest. He's leading with 9 points going into sudden lane change, and we know just how strong he is on that track. Nils gets third. He has fought valiantly. Tim gets fourth here. He let Quentin and Nils go by the looks of things here. As further back now as Cloudless Im says the darkness is reveling by Corn the Nothing. Corn, that'd be aggressive to have in your ears. Homer, fifth place. I mean, Homer fought. He gave it his all. Excellent. I mean, I was so impressed by Homer today. This is his breakout performance. Excellent racing a mountain bike by Jesper. Maybe this next race, next season of CVRcade World Cup might be his. Nigel will win the bot patrol fight here. So he got the whip out at the very end. He showed everybody who's boss. Further down, we await here. Jennifer, Sebastian, Peter. They've got their last bit of a lap going on. Looks like Ben Shuilong as well on the front here in 10th is ready. So with the next race coming up is Sudden Lane Change, which is a totally different track. So the majority of what you've seen so far is realistic. It's road, it's mountain bike, but coming up next, I am sure you did not anticipate this. It is a fantastical theme that is what really separates CVRcade. It makes it fun, as Ben had to put a block on Clarence last second. Typical Ben here. I mean, so used to being the blockee, he just wants to know what it feels like to be the blocker. As now, the instant replay, here we go again. Casey wins, Quinton gets second. Nils just couldn't keep up when it mattered towards the end. As now you got the chat tuning all in. Thank you so much, by the way, for being active, chat. Thank you for making it so awesome to be a part of the CVRcade community. You really make it fun, as when this instant replay runs out, get ready to see Sudden Lane Change. It's a track that's a rhythm track. Frank Garcia is one of the best on this track, and it'd be interesting to see if he can get his first win back in the racing here, as we've got Sudden Lane Change coming up next. Now, while we wait, let's go get a word from Nils Heldens, because Nils, you crashed a few times there. You were fighting your way back in. Was that a welcome back to CVRcade moment?
Well, the sliding out was definitely a very nice welcome back. Yeah, it was quite a hard race anyways, even with catching up and all that. I didn't catch up until the first ascent, and Casey was already gone. So, yeah, not much to do in terms of a win, but happy to see a teammate win, of course.
How about that fight between you, Tim, and Quinton? Is there a bit of like, You want to be the winner, you want to be the big dog, or how do you, because I know you guys are talking, aren't you?
Oh, we aren't talking. Well, we're not in a group chat, but not during the race. But it was mostly just like a bit like a town sign sprint with your mates, just having fun. Really, it's not about who's top dog or first race or anything like that. Just good fun.
Whoever gets to the town sign first is the top dog. Right? So I get you. I get it. Now we got 53 seconds remaining. There was a question in the chat earlier that we do need the answer for. Jennifer, are you wearing the new shoes that you painted that you showed off in the Cade Riders?
I am wearing the new shoes, and I would love to show them if I wasn't clipped into this thing and had a hard time getting out.
Well, it's been an interesting night so far from you. Sudden lane change, what can we expect?
Yeah, Rocky Mountain definitely, my endurance kicked in. As we know, characteristically, usually on like the second or third race, it hits me. And it did. Sudden lane change is a little bit different because it's a little bit more technical. It's not that tiring in my opinion. So as long as I can avoid some crashing, I think we'll be all right.
We'll see. 7 seconds remain. Good luck in this one. I think Frank Garcia and Quinton Molinez are the two favorites for this one. We'll see if Frank is going to bring his A game to this one. He rested up early on the last one. We do see racer's edge from both him and Jennifer Garcia here. So sudden lane change, obstacles in the road. Oh, Frank goes down early on as he just cannot get out of the way. But this is what we've been seeing all season long for season 1. Quinton Molinez. Even when we went into the after party races, when we added crazy abilities, we had keyboard racing, it was still Quinton Molinez at the front. But he's being overtaken here by Ben Shuilong. So Ben getting back in as Casey crashes. Now, that guy Wonka says, does Jennifer have a mixer? Well, you're going to have to go on to CVRcade or Riders to find out if she does. So if you're enjoying this, I mean, the community is all answering questions all live on Facebook. We'll see if she can avoid crashing in this one. But Ben versus Quinton. Quinton on the right, Ben on the left. A side-by-side that we've come to love during Season 1. Niels is further back. You can see the scoreboard as well. Ben would move up into 5th place. Only 2 points behind Tim here. So some valuable points on the line for him. As we look further down, Chris Pritchard in 13, Vibeke in 12, Sebastian is in 3rd here, Tim as well, and you've got Niels Heltons. Can he avoid a crash? Ben comes on through to the right. We've got 4 laps of this. You've got 1 Racer's Edge, and you've got 1 Corner Caper. So Corner Caper is a power-up we've not yet seen today. It makes it so you don't slide out. It's part of the physics of CVRcade. If you come into a corner too quickly, you're gonna slide out. You're gonna, just like you would in real life, you're gonna overcook it, and then you crash. That's one of the ways you can crash. And so, I just read, should I use my rowing machine to compete in this game? And yes, you should. You can. If you can somehow control your power-ups, move lanes, everything with a rowing machine, ash streaks, you should. It'd be next level, and you can connect it, I believe, if you have Amp Plus or Bluetooth as your device. So Jennifer trying just not to crash here, but it looks like she's more concerned just staying the consistent pace. We've seen this with Ryan Goldenberg time and time again. As Peter Castro, I think he just got blocked by a butt out on course by Marie out on track. So he's having to find his way on through, getting back into the swing of things. We saw this with Mochi P. Kelney in the grand finale, or in the lead up to it in that Saturday tournament. If you just go away for a week, if you get rusty, if you start feeling the jitters, it can be tough. If you get knocked off your A game, someone like Quinton, someone like Tim, someone like Casey and Sebastian, they are lethal. They will pounce on any opportunity that you do give them. And so Niels goes down. He crashes into a pillar, into an obstacle on the track there. So we saw him crash from sliding out in the last one, and this time we see him hitting a pillar out on track. Sebastian, 190 equalized heart rate. He's trying to get back in. Team Cognition, the jury, judge, executioner, the metronome, the destroyer, the man with way too many nicknames to keep track of. is doing himself proud here with a solid second place. As Nils again crashes, so second time here, fourth time in total today. He is going down. You can see the facial reaction. Let's bring that up again. Let's rate this reaction from 1 to 10. Nils, second crash in this race. Not happy with it. 1 to 10. What do you think? As we go back to the front. Tim chasing a third place. That is Nigel Doyle, the man who's been controlling the bots all day long. He's been, you know, just giving out directions. He's been saying quicker, slower. He's been sitting in. He wants to get a piece of the pie here. He gets away from Wilbur at the very last second. Good move. You got DK Mansuni giving it a 3. You've got Tyler Skinner who's in the chat saying, go on, mate. Welcome to the stream, Tyler Skinner. This is CVRcade. As Nigel on his keyboard, sorry, on his controller, is riding well. Quentin with a celebration victory wins. Sebastian will get second. Nigel Doyle will get third. It looked like Tim was trying to make a move, but Corner Caper will not prevail. Nigel with his Xbox controller gets third. Casey Shum in fourth. Alison Kubota, solid fifth place. And then I'm not sure what happened to Tim in that last race. Now, guys, this is not the end of the stream. We've got another zone after this. We're going to be joined by Beth York. We're going to be joined by Kayla Laguna and Ryan Goldenberg. As Ben was trying to put a move on his teammate, Peter Castro. And the shake of the head, not happy, crashing down despite using his... Oh, he crashes again! As... That facial reaction tells you everything you need to know, as Jennifer just got a few more laps remaining and she will be done as well. So the winner of the first Omnium in 2020 here in the run-up to the CVRcade World Cup is Quentin Molyneux. Casey Shum will take second place. Nils takes third. Tim takes fourth. Sebastian will be fifth. Nigel, Homer, Peter, Allison further down. So good racing here today. Exciting to see the racers are getting back. Now Zone L, which is the next zone, begins in 3 minutes time. So we got more racing for you right here on the CVR World Cup mixer page. I see Phil Livid is back for more. He's on a keyboard for this one, so he's getting used to it. Kale Laguna will be joining us, Ryan, I said, and Beth York. So new faces coming into the stream here, which will be good to see how they perform, because that was some good racing. Crucial Ball saying Chris didn't do anything, all hype. Well, you gotta go tell Chris to do some more practice, but I think he could be a force to be reckoned with. Now Quentin, I think he's going to be ready for another race. I think Tim is too. Now I want to get a word, because we haven't really heard from Tim just yet. Tim, we saw you use your corner caper and then something happened. What did we miss?
I just fat fingered it, to be honest, Jesper.
Oh, really?
Which meant I just changed one lane over and went straight into a wall. So, yeah, that's my own fault. Fighting against not doing as much as I was during the league, so my equalisation, I think, is thrashing me around. But it's good fun, getting fit. I've created a small ocean below me, so it can be a good thing.
Oh. What's it like to be back and having cycling up take 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the first Omnium?
Yeah, you've got to be happy with that. Homer seems to have a really good ride as well. I think he played a little bit too much into Cycling Hub's hands there. He did all the pulling, and then when we wanted to get Niels back, he let us slow the whole thing down. So shout out to Homer. Yeah, I mean, all the teams are going to be strong. It's equalised. We haven't introduced any new traps yet, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, great ride from Casey. I don't know what happened at the front there, but I think Quinton won the last one, so got to be happy with that.
Well, we got another zone coming up. I'll let you recover a tiny bit before we go again. I do see that Jennifer's jumped out of the stream and joined in the chat, so this is your moment. If you want to ask any questions, I see her mixer page is in the chat. Now, joining us for some more racing in this one, if they're ready, no, we'll go and chat with somebody else instead. We'll go and get a word from Quinton as he gets ready to do a second set of races. Quinton, What is it? Like sudden lane change. It's always you. Up there in the front, out of the danger, as more tunes are banging in the back.
Yeah, it's just one of those courses that suit me quite well. I like it a lot. The course, it's really like a course where you need to find a rhythm, just stick to it, and I apparently can find my rhythm quite quickly and keep it. So yeah.
Well, now we go again. The legs, are they ready for a second Omnium? Because I know it takes a bit of time to get used to back-to-back Omniums.
Yeah, they're tingling. So I might still be good for sudden lane change, but I don't think I'm going to play anything in the second or third race.
Well, we'll see. 18 seconds until the racing begins. Thank you, Quinton. I'll let you get ready. Now, joining us in the broadcast, as I mentioned before, I see Beth York is now in and ready to go as the last few highlights are running. So we got Beth York, we've got her teammate in Ryan Goldenberg as well, who is in and ready to see what Velocity Vixen can bring to the table. So they were super nice to us in the broadcasting team. I'm not sure what their game was, but we did receive both Peeps and Maple Leaf cookies prior to the Christmas break. So if Velocity Vixens thinks we can say nice things about them because they bribe us, they're absolutely correct. I'm excited to see what they can bring here in 2020. They have a strong team. Carl Axel Sander, Joyce DeSmit, Jeff Rooney, Linda Brocotto, who's been in there. You got Ryan, you've got Beth in there as well. And they've been the nearly riders. They've been there. Ryan was in the grand finale, but it's not an easy place to be once you get in, because the level of competition, it only gets higher and higher as you go to the top here. KG, I don't mean to bring up food every time, but it just seems to be the easiest conversation. Seems to be the one thing that every demographic between gamers to cyclists have in common is our love for food. Maybe it's just the one thing all humans have in common is that we could all have a burger and fries if offered. But so last zone, which we saw zone K on Echelon, it was a very, very late attack, a late sprint that saw Peter Castro win it. As I think Tim is just trying to test the legs here in the sprint, attacks off the front. And he might actually try and sustain it here, but he's not going to get much of a gap here as Velocity Vixen, Beth and Ryan, they come into this fresh. I would expect some good results here from Ryan and Beth coming into the second zone. The majority of the ones racing zone K have not made it in here, or have made it in. And so the fresh names, they're going to be ready. Homer with a comeback kit at the back. So this was a power-up we didn't really see much of in zone K. It gives you 367 equalized watts more for 45 seconds, or until you catch the rider ahead of you. Now he's got 20 seconds up to Quinton. He's getting that boost. He's fighting here as we've got Ben Shui along here. I'm not sure if Casey was trying to put a block on, but since this is a low skill event, not going to be successful. But we do have attacks. We have Ben, who's back-to-back racing here with Casey. I think Ben is just looking at the riders nearby list. He's thinking, can I really do this? This is a long way out in a race where, Quinton with a slingshot effect. So he let go. He used his power up. He's coming on through. Now, Crucial Bowl, I'm seeing you in the chat a lot. I mean, you should get on. You should get racing. If you are cheering for Chris, the Ryans, it's so much fun. I know you have your love and I know you have your opinions, but you should try this. The season has not yet started. The season will start further into the year, I think. Not too far away, of course. But this is the run-up to the season 2. If you want to get involved, if you want to get practicing, the person you're seeing on the screen right now, well, Quinton prematurely bought a bike, and I think he won so much money in the World Cup that he could pay it off. So if you want to have the similar strategies, you can do so, as you can see. Crucia says, I race, but I'm a nobody. No, it's no such thing. We've got, 12 riders in here. Everybody's getting a bit of airtime. Even, we got Vanessa here and Kayla towards the back. Vanessa, awesome moderator, awesome helper who just loves the community. If there's something you want to talk about, she's there. Kayla is here as well, who is joining us in the racing. But on the front, it's Velocity Vixen, as you're seeing it on the front. Says, I did last season, can you please add me? Wait, Are you Pierre Valentine? Is this who it is? Oh, you got Crafty Alarm says, can you please add me? Well, what would you like to do, Crafty Alarm? You can get racing with us. You've got 353 people all watching this with you right now as we get ready. Kathy is the better mod. That is a spicy take. I don't know. I think Vanessa and Kathy, I think equally appreciation. I think KG, she's always there, but Vanessa, I mean, when you do Saturday's Zone E, I think you gain respect for life. I think that's just how it goes. First attack, Beth York goes on the front here, 600 meters remaining. She is trying to get away. She's utilizing her sprint, but she's not getting much of a gap. Ryan is going to sit second wheel here to try and negate it, but Casey, with his comeback kit, is top left-hand corner coming back. 300 meters remaining, 200 meters remaining. Will it be Casey? Will it be Beth? Now that's just heartbreak. Casey Shaw just pulling one over onto the sidewall, but Peter Castro coming back in the low skill event. This is where he's made his name, but he's got to be careful. Quinton Molinez on the corner comes on through, but Peter will win his second race of the day, second time on Echelon, second time on low skill. So great attack from Beth, great cover by Casey, and then you just had the two follow-ups by Peter and Quinton. And at the end of the day, Beth still got a solid fourth place in there, so taking some points away. It looks like she was trying to tee up her teammate in Ryan Goldenberg, so it did work out. Top three, that is usually where Velocity Vixen seems to be aiming for when it comes to the consistency. You got Mutt KG saying, nice job, Peter. As I agree, you got some sparks being used in the chat by King Snake 42 and Speedy Support. Thank you very much. Now, Peter, I mean, even Mutt KG is rooting for you. It just seems to be your day on Echelon.
It's the only race I can win, I think. All the other ones are way too tough for me today. Just trying to get fit again. But I can manage 2 laps on Echelon. But I'm out of breath now.
Well, don't worry. The only way to gain back fitness, the only way to get back that sort of cardio is to go through this and do it again and again and again. But what's it like, Peter? I know you've been ill over Christmas. Is it good to be back?
Yeah, it's good to be back, but it hurts. I can feel I'm not fit. Even with the equalization, you try to go as fast as you can, but I think my body says no.
I think the equalization can almost be cruel to you because it gives you that hope. And you're like, even though I'm unfit, I can win this. And you just tend to go that inch harder.
Yeah, especially in Rocky Mountains. In the last Omnium, I could keep up for 2 kilometers, and then it was all over. But it's good fun, and it's great to be back. It's great to be racing again.
Well, it's good to have you back, Peter. I'm excited to see what you bring to the table. You're always fun to watch. Good luck here in Mountain Bike by Jesper. Let's see. Now we've got the riders joining us in the broadcast. Ryan Goldenberg, first Omnium of the year for you. Have you had your maple syrup shot?
Not today. I had a banana, which isn't quite the same level of intensity, but yeah, it's always a weird time zone. L. It's kind of lunchtime, so it's, do I eat before? Do I eat after? But no, I'm just happy to be back. Neat to see a lot of riders here that aren't bots, which is mostly what I would have seen over the holidays. But Happy New Year, Jesper.
Happy New Year as well to you, Ryan. Good to see you back. Let's go see from your teammate as well, because I mean, I'm sure Beth didn't have maple syrup, but maybe she did. Beth, Peeps, maple syrup?
Well, you mentioned Peeps.
We still haven't gotten through the entire package you sent us. How many Peeps do you have?
What? Like, how can you even open it and not finish it off? Seriously, like, these are the kind that fit right in your back pocket. Like, they are like the perfect size to fit in a cycling jersey.
I feel like they would mush. They would get warm and you'd have a sticky back pocket.
Well, you just have to try it. You come up with your own techniques, just like in game, right? What makes it work. Happy New Year, Jesper.
Happy New Year as well to you, Beth. Now, you ready to take on the resistance? You saw Homer attempted in the last zone. Can Velocity Vixen do it?
Well, we're going to try. I like that we have this opportunity to do a run-up race because I'm like shaking off the cobwebs, feeling all rusty. So it's nice to be back. It's nice to feel the exhilaration of competition and know that we have at least a practice day or two before the real points start hitting. So I'm excited to be here, and we're going to bring whatever we can.
Well, I'm excited to see you bring the heat in this one. 10 seconds to go. Good luck, Beth. I always feel, because I know exactly what Beth and Ryan, these riders, go through when they get interviews seconds before they have to race, because you do have to kind of switch a mentality. You go from, oh, this is, I'm good, to, okay, here we go. Like somebody in the chat mentioned Korn. I'm sure that you can put some of that music through your head, and you'll be like, okay, time to race. As Beth, early attack here, followed by Ben. As you got Crafty Alarm saying, Beth, I love you too. So Beth has her fan group as the chat is going through somewhere around the world. Timothy is going, where's Burden and Rapid? Where's my super fans? But Ben, Beth, early attack here. Quinton in 4th place, feeling maybe the effort of the last Omnium. But if there's one thing we know about Quinton Molinez, is that he just gets better and better as the racing progresses. There are just some people that don't really understand their limits. They're like, well, this is my limit, but I can technically go a bit harder. I can push it a bit further. And we're seeing Quinton as one of those. Tim is another one of those as well here, as Kayla comes through on the right. So she was dropped initially, but now she's back in. She's trying to get back to the front as they're coming up. So Simon R says, this is so cool. So much respect for this. Well, Simon, you know what? So much respect for you for watching this, because this is the future of physical esports. And to have you guys in here, you're the reason we do this. You're the reason why this is so much fun, along with the community. So if you're enjoying this, Simon, if you're thinking about getting on, you should totally do it. You can even race with a keyboard if you wanted to. At the back end of the pack here, Ryan, he had a banana, not a maple syrup shot. Maybe that's the answer to the question. You're all wondering, why is Ryan in 9th place? We've seen him in the grand finale. Definitely, if somebody can just, put a maple syrup shot his direction, that would be good. Peter is in 6th place here, winning the previous race. He has been ill over the holidays, so regaining some fitness, regaining some form, regaining some knowledge about the game as well. As you've got to get back in and get a feel for things, as you've got to know your lane changes, you've got to know the power-ups and all this sort of things. But right now, Beth and Kayla have managed a gap on the rest. Beth is at 195, Kayla at 184. So Team CVR, Team Velocity Vixen onto the attack. You've got Dad Gamer 77 says, I agree with Simon. Dad Gamer, awesome to have you in the chat as well. Hit me with your best emoji. Hit me with your best GIF. Whatever you've got, your sparks. Time to use them in the chat right now. Let's see who's got the best sparks game. As Kayla goes on to the attack. She's leaving Beth in the dust here, but only by a few meters here. Beth can fight to get back on, and we know she's a competitor. We know that she will fight for every inch. She'll get back on. And in this race, we do have the power-ups available. 1 power plant, 1 wind at your back. Ben is using his right now, but neither Kayla nor Beth raced the previous zone. So they're coming into this fresh. So now you got all the sparks. You've got I'm a Walt with a cat. You've got 2 pizzas. I'm not even sure how that's a coincidence. You've got a unicorn. That one takes it. Unicorn, everybody. Game over. Mansuni. No competition. As Ben Shui along, he sees the move, and he knows that this could be his ticket to the front. Because Quinton is 3 seconds behind him, and you don't necessarily want Quinton to get back up. If you can get to the front and get with him, that's the place to be. You got Hot Peter with a... is that even a Rip It sign? I'm not sure. You've got Rip as well from Agent of Bad Karma. So Ben in this no man's land, Quinton in this no man's land as well, as the two rock stars on the front of different teams. Beth and Kayla, great friends in real life. Right now, I think Beth is reconsidering her friendship with Kayla. She's making Beth's legs hurt incredibly right now. She's trying to get back on. You see FOG7 saying, will it be Beth or will it be Kayla? Can Ben bring it back? That is the question. I think right now the odds favor Kayla, because if you look at the equalized heart rates, you see 187 for Kayla. You see the visual expression on her face. Seems more composed, a bit more controlled than when we go back and compare to Beth, who's at 199. So equalized heart rates go to 200. 200 is your max. You kind of compare the two. Looks like Kayla controlling her breathing. Beth is fighting at 200 here, but we've seen Beth before. When she hits the 200 mark, she just kind of stays here. It's kind of like she puts up her RV and says, this is my slot, this is my camper van, this is my vacation. I'm just going to camp at 200 equalized heart rates, and I'm not going to move. Hey DJ, welcome into the chat. Thank you for watching. What you're watching right now is the physical esports, that is the CVRcade World Cup run-up, as the two racers on the front, Kayla Laguna, Beth York, rested legs, coming into this, not having raced the previous zone. Just off the back in third place is Quinton Molinese of Team Cycling Hub, but unless he pulls out a great comeback here, I don't see him making a return, as Beth is trying to get back on terms, but the equalized watts are different. You can see Kayla on the right. Beth is on the left here, and the gap is going the wrong direction. Quinton, though, is trying to get back on, and he's used his wind at his back. He's used his power plant. He's doing it all here to try and get back in here. Can he do it? He's throwing all the caution into the wind. The legs are telling him no, but his mind is saying yes. Which will he listen to? And name that song in the chat as Quinton is trying to get back on. But looking down, the cadence seems to be slowing. When you look down, you kind of seem like you're running out of energy, you're running out of air. Meanwhile, it's still Beth. Beth has her power-ups left, though, so if she times it, she could get back on. That gamer says, can they hear you? They're probably like, who's leading? Not anymore. Yes, so that gamer, some of these, they choose to have the commentary available because it kind of functions like a secondary director sportif, a teammate giving you the information. Some, they think, you know what, Jesper guy, I don't need him to say to everybody that I look like I'm tired. I know I'm tired. So they opt not to listen to the broadcast. But it's really personal preference from the individual writer. As Kevin says, this would be a cool game for the console. But it is actually available to beta test. I believe it's closed beta on Xbox. So Kevin, if that's something you're interested in, go to CVRcade.com. I'm sure one of the mods can link the website in the chat. And sign up to beta test on Xbox. So if you think this is a cool game for a console, it is actually available on Xbox as closed beta. But 2 laps remain. You've got Kayla, if we bring down the scoreboard, she's currently leading the overall scoring, so across all the races so far, with Beth in second place. The difference is only a point and a half, and then Quinton in third. And we've got Rocky Mountains after this. I mean, that is incredible what we're going to see. As a gut hanger, I mean, not nice that somebody made a mixer profile picture after my body, but we'll take it. Gut Hanger says, how much is it and how would you join tournaments? This is free to play. CVRcade is absolutely free to play. You can go to CVRcade.com right now and download. Right now, free to play, get on. How do you join the tournaments? Go in the game, go in the menu, join the tournaments. That's it. Now, some tournaments might require an events pass, but you can cross that bridge when you get in the game. But it's free to play. Get on, get riding. And yeah, this is so much fun. As Quinton, this is close. I mean, Kayla has been dominating this race, and she looks to be a red-hot favorite for Rocky Mountains coming up after this, which is a longer race, 14 kilometers, I believe. And she looks good, but how much has she suffered? How much energy has she spent taking this victory? You usually see Kayla when she's in the hurt locker, head kind of starts tilting, the eyes start squinting. None of that just yet. Barely even breaking a sweat by the looks of things here. So she's got a good chance here as we look further down. You got Quinner FT Winner saying, I never knew this existed. Well, you do now. Sub75 says, nice. Well, nice to you as well. As Beth tries to counterattack, tries to counter the power-ups. She's got to be careful here. As Allison, we're having an all-female podium currently out on track. Allison versus Quinton. And these points matter for the Omnium, for every point scored. They matter very, very much. Allison has come back, but she's now being distanced. Quinton having none of it, as Allison is going backwards while Quinton is going forwards, but he is paying the price. This is going to come back to haunt him. The points gathered in this race, he may lose in the next race. But I think we can all agree there is one absolute champion of this race. Let's hear it right now in the chat for Kayla Laguna as she wins her first race of 2020 here in the CVRcade World Cup run-up. Beth, absolutely amazing effort. Has not come down from 200 equalized heart rate. So she is a rock star, both on and off the bike here, as Quinton will be third place for Team Cycling Hub. He fought for his points. He did not want Allison to come in there and pop his party balloons. Allison, very, very respectable fourth place. She fought to come back. Ben Shuilong, Team CCC, just getting the miles in the legs. They're trying to build up the stamina. I mean, you hear this from Jennifer, you hear it from Aaron, you hear it from Frank, you hear it from Ben, from Quinton, from Timothy. It's about the stamina. Can you go for those two Omniums when it comes to the grand finale? The chat is alive today. Thank you very much. We've got 455 people here. If you're watching right now, let's see the high. We've got the subs, we've got Crucial Ball, we've got the regulars in here. You are absolute rock stars with the rest. But let's see the instant replay. Let's go have a word with Kayla in just a second. But Kayla, right from the gun, she put down the pressure. Beth just kept trying to close the gap and close the gap. But she just couldn't. Kayla was just that one gear higher, that one speed above Beth. And over time, over this many laps, over 8 laps, when you're just that 2% stronger, 2% better, it becomes 10 seconds out on track. But Kayla, congratulations, winning mountain bike by Jesper. You and Beth had quite a nice duel going on there.
Yeah, in the beginning, I was trying to just work with her a little bit, but was looking at our equalized heart rate and was seeing just a difference in that, and I was just feeling that I could just get ahead at this point, and every point matters in the Omnium, so wanted to work with Beth, but also just wanted to solidify that position on top, because felt good with my legs coming back, so that I take it right there on Jesper's mountain course, because Rocky Mountain is going to be a tough one right up here with the wind as well. So
yeah, talk me about this one, because this will probably be the one that defines it, but you've got fresh legs. You kind of saw Quinton, Ben, some ones who've already done one zone. They're feeling it. Are you going to bring the heat?
Yeah, I'm trying to give it my best that I got. You know, we took a little bit of the time off from the bike just because I had that recovery back in the last year. So just it's feeling good taking the time off and then getting back on. But I'm going to give it everything I got in this race and hopefully just use some smart tactics to help save the legs as well.
Let's go and hear from Beth, because Beth, you were just there. I mean, that is just heartbreaking. You could almost reach out, grab Kayla's jersey and say, get back here.
Yeah, well, you know, when we work together when we can, and she was just a little bit stronger, obviously, today. I lost her on maybe lap 3, where I just over-braked in the corner. More of a timing thing. I know what the corner speed is, but you get more confident when you're sharper to sort of slam on those brakes right before you need to hit that speed. So a little bit of over braking, and then had to make it up every time coming through the line. And so my other Achilles is, starting to sprint in the corner too soon and accelerating. So just being guarded, trying to hold my position. At a point, I made a decision of like, well, if I just stay here, Quinton wasn't coming to get me. I didn't want to waste effort trying to close that gap back to Kayla, but see if I have something left here in Rocky Mountain.
We'll see.
I too,
45 seconds to go. I want to get a quick word from Quentin as well, because I just saw Quentin's message in the chat. Quentin, Rocky Mountains, 2 laps. Give me your quick thoughts.
I'm dead.
Are you Sebastian Kuhn dead? Are you dead? Or how dead are you?
Well, if you take a cat, it has 9 lives, and I think I've used all of mine.
Well, some cats have 10 lives. We'll see if you can find the 10th one. I'm not even sure if that's true, but from now on, that is the case. Quentin, good luck. 10 seconds remain until the next race begins. Here, I like how Quentin has 2 headsets. He's got one for the stream and one for Aya the Tiger playing in the background. So that is dedication. We'll see. Ryan was resting the legs here in the previous race. Is he going to bring it here to help his teammate? I did see your message, by the way, Skidsy, in the chat. I'm glad you enjoyed the stream. This is very different, but it is so addicting to watch because, I mean, last season we had a Saturday where it was the bracketed session tournament finale. It was amazing. It was 7 hours of just heartbreak racing, but also emotions were flying high. Blocks were put on, power-ups were executed. It was just a thriller, and to top it all off, the winner that day took home $3,000. That's a lot of money. And then the week after, we did it all again, and the winner took home $5,000 from riding your bicycle. Most people think getting a paper route is the way to go to make money riding your bike. No, get on CVRcade. This is the real paper route. I mean, this is the next level here. As Kayla, she is, you heard her say she's feeling good, she's ready in here, she's rested, she's ready to go. But this is a different beast. It's 2 laps of Rocky Mountains. You go up this long drag, this long hill, you've got the wind in here. I think we're going to see a lot more butt patrol in this one. I think we're going to see Nigel Doyle be happy that the riders are sticking with it. But Tim says, you know what, I'm not going to do it. He's going to attack away here. He uses his underdog, his weight lifted, to attack away, and he's going on the attack. This is a dangerous move, but looking at the grand scheme of things, you can kind of afford, if you are Beth, if you are Kayla, you can afford to let Tim go, because if we bring down the scoreboard, he's in 2nd place currently. He's a threat, but are you going to bring back the Tim Fulford? If you work together as a unit, perhaps, but as a sole rider, it can be difficult. But Ryan Goldenberg taking up the mantle here. He's trying to attack and try and bridge up with path the least resistance to try and get away. So, Crucible, I'm loving you in the chat, man. I'm loving this. Glad you're enjoying us. Ryan here got a fist bump as well. So, I'm not actually sure what that was. Let's turn on Ryan. What were you trying to do, Ryan?
I was trying to, I don't know, I need like another passenger seat next to me. I was trying to reenact Nigel's cruising.
Ah, yeah, better leave that to Nigel Doyle. All is good, but it seems like you've been joined by Beth, by Homer, by Quentin. You've got the bot patrol. I'll let you get back to it. You've got Quentin now getting onto the front as well here, as he is just marking the riders. If he can get to sudden lane change, which I think is his target, can he get to sudden lane change? Can he get ready? Because that track, he just has it nailed down. It's the way Timothy Tamont has got Dark Matter Velo nailed down. It's the way that you've seen Casey on Country Rally. And so Quentin is damage limitation, but currently the leader virtually out on track is Beth York, who Crafty Alarm 9201 says, Beth, I love you, followed by what's 5 hearts, 1 waving emoji, 2 hearts, 1 waving emoji, 1 heart, 3 waving emojis, and there's a lot, well, there's plenty of emojis in there. So Crafty Alarm blowing the budget on emojis. Now, Homer, this is back-to-back Omniums for Homer Thompson. In the previous zone, in the previous Omnium, 5th place on mountain bike by Jesper. I think he was 6th here in Rocky Mountains. Coming into his own, I wonder how much practice he's been doing, because I know Beth has the Rise and Rip rides on Mondays and Fridays, and Homer is a returning student, a returning participant of that class and group ride. How much has he been picking up? How good has he been getting? Maybe 2020 is the year of Homer Thompson. I only hope and I wish, because great friend, great rider. As Kayla being distanced here. So, tale of two races. Mountain bike by Jesper could not be touched. I mean, she was just scorching the earth when she was attacking off the front. Now, is she paying for that effort? Is she feeling the legs, feeling the pain? Because all she needs to do here is get back on terms with the front three here in front of her. And she does use underdog. I was going to suggest this power up. It gives you 50 watts more for every person ahead of you. But you've got to get back on. So I'm sure right now in the audio channel, in the in-game audio widget, Frank Garcia, the team leader of CVR, saying, come on, Kayla, this is all or nothing. What are you made of? You're either going to have 2 laps of you just barely being there, or you're going to get back on terms and you're going to get the draft. And you can see the intensity on Kayla's face. She is ready, she is prepared, and she puts in the effort here to get back on. And now Homer sees this, and Homer attacks off the front, and Beth is trying to mark this move by Homer. It's a good move, but how long can you stay at 201 equalized heart rate? This could be the beginning of the end. On mountain bike by Jesper, it's possible. It is a shorter track, shorter race. This is a race where you get to a point where if you're at 200 and somebody accelerates and you have to follow, you're kind of at the limit of the roof. But we will see here as Crafty Alarm is asking to play Fortnite with Beth. Well, Crafty, I'm sure that Beth will make you an agreement. If you play CVRcade with us, we will play Fortnite with you. That is my suggestion. So get on, Crafty. But Beth is in the hurt locker here. So we're going on to the headwind section. Kayla back on the front here. I think right now Kayla is seeing this move from Beth. And Beth is the biggest competitor to Kayla's overall win here in Zone L. If she can ride her off the wheel, if she can ride her out of the group, Kayla can get back on terms. But what's happening now here is a tale of two sides of the game. Tim, you saw the early attack. He's on the right-hand side. He is way gone. He is up the front, leading by 12 seconds. He's going to be tough to catch, but I think Kayla is going to take up the challenge. Then on the other side, you've got Beth York, Velocity Vixen team leader. She is in the TT position. She is pretty much at her max, and she's going to have to stay here until they slow down, if they slow down. So this is what it's come down to, as Sub75 has changed his mixer profile picture. I like it. As you can now see Recenter Rain saying, this is amazing. I'm glad you're liking it. But look at this. You've got to move here. You got Kayla and Beth off the back here now. So they've got to get back on. So Kayla on the front, being distanced. She's using weight lifted. And suddenly the head is starting to tilt. Suddenly you can sense the urgency, the panic starting to creep in, as the realization is, I was winning. I was leading. I used underdog. I was back in. But suddenly, Homer, Quinton, they put on the attack. So Beth and Kayla here. It's a good story to watch as it unfolds. But the runaway rider is now Quinton, who's leading by 2.5 points ahead of Kayla Laguna. As you've now got Crafty Alarm asking Tim if he plays Fortnite. I'm sure that if you get on, I'm sure you can get, as Kayla gets back in, I'm sure that Crafty Alarm is just asking all this to get the pressure off Kayla, get the spotlights off Kayla, because now she's got to be careful she doesn't crash. Hand on the brake there. She was starting to slide out. She gets back to Homer Thompson, and she does crash! And her facial reaction, she gets the tailwind. Let's bring that up on the instant replay, because when you go quickly into a corner, just like real life, you'll start sliding out. She's at 57, 58. She's still at 600 equalized. Break in, and then she goes down. The facial reaction, as always, Kayla, 10 out of 10. As Hype Fear says, your streams suck. Well, thank you. We love you too, Hyper Fear. Like you too. I mean, it's good to see you're joining in here in the stream, watching the game. If the rest of the chat agrees, let him know what he's watching and why this is awesome to see, as it is funny. Smut KG says, come on, give it a try. Now, Hyper, give us a reason, because Beth right now, I mean, she's at her absolute max. 197 equalized heart rate. I mean, this is her getting exercise in, having fun, having the brain stimulated, instead of just being at the gym. As Kayla goes down again. Kayla once more crashing in the corner. So I'm not sure what's happening here, but she is, she might have some sort of bug going on, but she is crashing out on course. Beth comes through. Quinton in third though, and now the eyes go on Quinton and Beth, because the two of them are battling it out at the top of the leaderboard with a 3-point differential, and Beth needs to get back on terms because we all know what Quinton can do on sudden lane change. If Beth wants a chance, she needs to come over the top. Is there an age requirement, says Godhanger? I don't believe there is, Godhanger. I don't believe there is an age requirement. I believe it's open for everybody. Don't quote me on that, but I believe it is. So get on the platform, get racing. I definitely know you can do this. And so Grills Forsman says, let's go Quinton. He's got a fan in the chat. But what Tim is doing on the front is amazing, and Tim is strong, and we've seen it. I mean, one Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. But what Homer has been doing today, I would love to know what he had up for Christmas, because, I mean, whatever Christmas gifts he got, whatever he ate for the Christmas dinner, I would like 2, please, because Homer's come in here rejuvenated. I mean, he's dove into the fountain of youth, and he's come out as a totally different Homer Thompson, and this is epic. Cognition, rallying, he's really doing well. Tim has to be slightly worried, or maybe not at all, as he's wiping his face, just sitting up, resting down the heart rate here. As there you go, FOG in the chat saying, need parental approval for 14 and under. So there you have it. Resented Rain says, this is the best stream I have ever seen. Well, Resented Rain, you are the best person I've ever seen. So thank you very much. It's straight over. If you are enjoying it, just click that follow button down below. The follow button, it's 2 seconds of your day. Makes a massive difference for us. And if you want to get some extra privileges, the subscribe button is right next to it. You'll get some emojis, I believe, as well. So Spitfire Boy says this is entertainment. I think he may have just changed his name, but Homer is getting caught by Quinton here. So with 1 lap remaining, it is all coming back together. 468 people watching CVRcade racing. I want you to say who you think is going to win this race. Will it be Tim Fulford, who's ridden an entire lap on his own? He is the bracketed session tournament champion of season 1 of the CVRcade World Cup. Will it be Homer Thompson, who has just defied all odds in Mountain Bike by Jesper Zone K? He's done it in both Rocky Mountains today. Can he take the top spot on the podium, or will it be your grand finale champion taking home the ultimate prize of them all, the biggest prize purse, Quinton Molinez of Team Cycling Hub? Will it be him, the untired rider here, as he goes on to the attack? You've got Jennifer Garcia saying, subs for Homer. You've got Pilot of the Team saying, I'm from Belgium. Let's go, Quinton. Sebastian Kuhn says, let's go, Homer. Folded Heart is a Tim fan. Higgins, Tim. Crafty Alarm says, Beth, New York. As Higgins says, Tim. And Not Fredo says, bro. I'm not sure bro is an option, but I assume that's another point for Homer Thompson. The bro is the bros, as he is using path of least resistance, this time at the correct time, to come back here as he's sliding through. Oh, Tim here staying to the left. This is an opportunity. This is the move. So Homer staying on the wheel of Tim. I think it might have been a tiny bit of a block going on there. Not too certain on it, but the optics of it does look like a tiny bit of a block on Homer, and the move now is on Quinton. Quinton versus Homer on Rocky Mountains. Which of these two riders wants it more here? As Warto says, oh, get back in second, Quinton. The chat is getting lively here. The two riders, they're alone on the Rocky Mountains. The stage is set. The wind is blowing in their faces, and the crowd is cheering. I can't wait to see your GGs in the chat when this is over, because Quinton with his head down, Homer is making inwards. Can he do it? Team Cognition. Also, at the same time, Allison Kubota with the bot patrol catching up here to Tim Fulford. It changes the dynamics. Quinton, overall favorite here for the Omnium, but Homer versus Quinton. What does Quinton look like right now as he is just in the hurt locker? Yarian B says, where can you get this bikes? Now, if you go to CVRcade.com, CVRcade.com, there is a hardware shop. You can buy it there or through the game as Homer uses a power-up. He got weightlifted, 30 kilograms lighter. He is attacking the front. He is trying to get back. He's got a 2 kilometers an hour advantage here on Quinton to get back in. So now he's trying to get up, and Quinton reacts. Both of them are at similar equalized heart rates. Both of them are feeling it. See Quinton gritting his teeth. I think he's still got Eye of the Tiger on his 10th repeat of the day. He's just getting to the good bit here. As I saw Casey Shum in the chat say, has Homer learned anything in the last hour? It doesn't matter because he has touched ground on the front. Houston, we have landed. But now the question is, do we have enough back here to take back off and return back to Earth as Homer Thompson on the side of Quinton? The strategic element of CVRcade comes into play now because even though Quinton is hurting, I think Quinton might try to get a bit of rest on the side of Homer. But will Homer allow it? He goes to 400 equalized watts. Let's see it in the chat. Let's see. Crafty Alarm says, come on, Homer. Folded Heart says, come on, Tim, get back in there. Doesn't look to be the case. But you know what's crazy, though, is that the group behind is not too far behind. Allison is here in 3rd. You've got Tim in 4th. They're 10 seconds behind the front group. If Homer, if Quinton start looking at each other, even Kayla could get back on to the front. So 5 kilometers remain here. Homer, like the steam engine just keeps chugging along. This is the train, one destination, express train, one stop. That is Payne City, and Quinton Molinez is the happy customer of Homer Express right now, sitting back in coach. Might be thinking about upgrading to first class because he needs the better view at the front. Higgins says, how much are they? Depends on what you mean. I think the budget option is around 280 something, 300 I think it is. As now we can see is good. Casey says Cycling Hub will go 1-2. You think they'll catch as Homer puts a bit of a block here on Quinton. I love this from Homer. Quinton, by the way, ride of the day together with Homer. Both of them have been excellent. But we're seeing a bit of block it, rocket maneuver from Homer. A bit of rubber banding. He kind of puts on the brakes and then goes. Kind of puts on the brakes and then goes. As Allison in the secondary group also uses a power-up. I mean, this is an emerging story of Block It Rocket teaching Homer the way. He knows the way here. As Quinton lets go of the draft, we're into a straight headwind. So the closer you are, the better. But right now, this is that first-person view, the GoPro action camera view. Quinton is not getting the maximum draft here, but he's still getting about 20. He's getting about 15. Homer's going to have a tough time. He's going to have a very tough time to get back up to the front. Got Hanger says, is there any way I can turn my bike into one? Yes! You can ride CVRcade using your bike. You don't need a specific bike. Your bike, it could have one gear. It could be from 1970. It could be from 1960s. It can still work. You connect it to a trainer, which is this thing that either goes on the back wheel or replaces the back wheel, or you have a speed and cadence sensor, and that works. So you don't need a specific bike, but Quinton Molinez, he is putting on the heat right now. He's taking the gas to 11 here. Homer's got to be careful. 190 equalized heart rate in the chat. Do you still believe Tim is going to take this, or are you joining the Homer hype train here? Homer has got the world at the edge of their seat. Quinton, the defendant champion of CVRcade World Cup Grand Finale, going up against the emergence of 2020 here. cognition now. They have swapped the roles. You can see Quinton. He's thinking. They've got power-ups. They've got two wait lists. I can't talk. This is also me blowing out my cobwebs. They've got 2 weightlifted, which are make you 30 kilograms lighter. You've got 2 path of least resistance and 1 underdog. Now, Homer's got to be careful because Quinton at any moment here can slow down. He can put on the brakes and let Tim get back. Now, it's not really in Quinton's agenda. If you bring down the scoreboard, which is ultimately what it's all about, when you also take into consideration the individual stage wins, the Omnium. Quinton is leading it, Kayla is closest, Beth is in third, and with sudden lane change, it's gonna be good. Folded Heart has changed to Homer Thompson here, so we're seeing one bandwagon jumping over ship here. Mutt KG saying close race. It's gonna be a good finale. I think if we were to put down a money line, I think Quinton would currently be the favorite. But the legs, I mean, this is gonna be tough. Hassie, I got you in the chat, says how much is left? Well, if you can see like far over, like top right hand corner, it says 2.5 kilometers remaining. So way over there at the top of the nearby riders list, you will see the distance they've traveled and the distance they have remaining. So the number on the left is how many kilometers they've already ridden, and then the number on the right is how much they have remaining. So 2.3 kilometers. It's all downhill from here except one little bump towards the end. It's gonna be interesting because Tim, Allison, they're fighting for secondary positions. Casey believes that Cycling Hub is going to take a 1-2 here. So Tim would have to catch a 13-second gap to the front. It's a tough ask, and I mean, the fight for secondary positions is also very much on here. As DK Mansuni says, I don't want to wait 30 days to join in on the fun. Well, you don't. If you're waiting for your hardware to arrive, you can join in on a keyboard as Homer Thompson has used a power-up. He's used weight lifted here, 30 kilograms lighter. We'll look from above. You've got the helicopter, the eye in the sky. He's trying to get rid of Quinton. He knows the sprint could be imminent here any moment. 1.5 kilometers left. But Quinton seems to be controlled now. His heart rate has come down. He's ready to go and he's ready to rock. Now, DK Mansuni, what I was saying is, if you're waiting for your hardware, you can join in on a keyboard, get a feel, or a controller, kind of get a feel for it, help out. If you're a Homer fan, if you're a Quinton fan, if you're a Tim fan, Allison, Beth, Kayla, Peter, everybody, you can help them out with a with your controller or keyboard. Now here we go. Quinton, underdog. We saw him do this in Zone K. He's gonna do it again in Zone L. He put the afterburners on in this exact same moment because he attacked away and he left. It was Nils Heldens in the dirt, and once more it's Quinton off the front. 800 meters is the gap. 800 meters is the remaining distance. Homer has come back once before. He's running out of real estate, and Tim Fulford is charging from behind. How much do you have left? You've got 501 people watching you, Homer Thompson, the man from Indiana, Lafayette, I believe. Can he get back in here and cross the gap to Quinton? Quinton will not make that easy. Heart rates 181, 186. I think it's fatigue. Like, this would be at 200, but when you spend so long, when you train as much as Homer and Quinton does, your heart rates are a bit lower than usual. But Quinton Molinez, there's a reason he's the champ. There's a reason they call him the best in the game. He has got it. He's going to win with 200 meters to go, unless Homer Thompson pulls one out, but it will not be. Quinton, we saw that what it meant to him. We saw the celebration in the previous zone. Once more, this is pretty good from Team Cycling Hub, from Quinton Molinez. I like how he said, you know what, Rocky Mountains, I don't know. It's a long race. It's a long race. And he goes out and has one of the best duels we've seen. Allison will get third. Tim will cross the line in fourth. In fifth place, it looks to be Kayla Laguna, who is 30 seconds up on Ben. She's got second place. So the fight for second through seventh is quite on. Like, anyone from Kayla to Tim on that leaderboard could very much win this. But in the chat right now, let's see your GGs. Use the Sparks. Let's get some GGs for Homer and for Quinton, because that is primetime television. That is entertainment of highest class. So right now, let's see some GGs in the chat, because it doesn't get much better than that. I wish we had Homer on the stream today, because what he's done today is phenomenal. Let's bring up the instant replays here at the end. As Fireboy Jet uses a cat as an emoji. That is an alternative GG, but we'll take it. We'll take it. There's Fireboy Jet. There's DK Mansuno. Hesse. Crucial Boyle. Wasn't a GG. Well, half the chat disagrees. We got Hanger, War Toast, Hot Peter, which is a great name. So thank you very much, guys. We've got one more race coming up today before we get ready for Zone T, which takes place in 7 hours' time. So more racing today still, as Hanger gets a care package in there. More racing coming up, but let's hear from Quinton Molyneux, because Quinton, you got pushed there. I mean, that was a good race. I know you. Are you okay? What's happening?
I'm alright. My right foot is just cramping up.
I mean, that's not surprise. I thought you said you were going to take it easy.
Yeah, I was going to. I was going to follow a wheel, and then I'm not sure how Homer and I got away from Kayla, but she overcooked a few turns in the downhill, I think, and I think that's what costed her the win, because she was very strong.
I mean, so were you and Homer. You were going side to side. Second time today we see that move. Did you know that was going to work the second time again? Or was there ever a moment you thought Homer's got this?
I've had quite a few moments where I thought Homer had this. I wasn't really believing in a victory until we got to that last hill, that last little uphill in the descent. Up until that point, I was thinking that Homer's going to get away from me at the summit. But somehow I could keep him in check, or he didn't want to go. I don't know what happened, but it was a very tough race.
It looked that way. Well, Quinton, I'll let you deal with your cramp, as it's always not fun to have, but we appreciate you in the chat. Was definitely enjoying that one. Thank you. Now, we did also have Tim in the front group for a while with Kayla. Let's quickly get a word from Tim. Tim, what happened to you?
I just went off the front at the start, used all my power-ups, and just thought, well, Quinton won't have to chase me and everyone else will have to try. So I just burnt myself for a lap. And then once sorry I blocked on Homer, but I thought he'd changed the inside line and I was going around the outside of the corner and basically just blew a gasket and blew up. Waited for Allison, jumped on a couple of bots, and then Allison did me in the sprint. I was just dead, so... happy to get around, and we'll see what we can do here, but I think I might be going to cramp.
Oh, another cramp. Well, good luck, Tim. The chat was definitely rooting for you until you blew the gasket. Last words from Kayla. Kayla, you were there too, and then suddenly you weren't. What?
I know. It's those crashes, I tell you. I crashed twice on that downhill, and just not knowing how fast I was going, and honestly a little bit rusty on those downhill parts. I thought it was 55, but it was 50 kph, so I pushed it way too hard there. But I thought I left the crashes back in 2019, but they are still here.
Well, there's still plenty of time in 2020 to make up for it, and maybe, we'll see what the season brings. 14 seconds, good luck maintaining the second place or trying to catch back up to Quinton in the front. I see Phil Lewitt is back in here, good to see him with more, but... will it be Quinton Molyneux? What better way? It couldn't be any other way if it's gonna be this way to take 2 Omnium wins of 2020. Quinton Molyneux, Team Cycling Up, but he's going up against stiff competition here. Allison has got a good chance here. She's 20 points down on the overall from the Team Cognition riders. She rode very well in the previous race, and here she's got another chance. We look down, I see Ryan Goldenberg here. He is making his way back up. Consistency is key. He enjoyed a little attack off the front. It's him and Phil. Ooh, that's a nice little move by Phil, moving to the right here. No, this is Phil's first time on the platform. He's getting ready for this upcoming CVRcade World Cup. I'm excited to see what he's going to bring. He's in good company. See, Beth is further up here now as she is fighting to get back in. I mean, the effort she put in on Mountain Bike by Jesper, the effort she put in on Rocky Mountains, she'll walk off today and she'll definitely have earned herself a slice or two of cakes, or maybe with all the peeps she's already had, maybe that calorie deficit is no longer a thing, but at least she said, oh, that was close, as she comes around, doesn't hit the barrier. Ben Shuilong, another unsung hero in here, doing 2 races back to back. Good to see him as well, performing, getting ready for the next season. Godhanger says, when's the next tournament, with or without money pool? Godhanger, the next tournament, I think you're referring to just Omnium in general, is in 7 hours time. So Zone T, which is more of the American time zone. This is more for European, but the American time zone is in 7 hours. Then again, on this coming Thursday, we go again. We're going to have races this exact time. You've seen the 2 hours. We go again in 7 hours from now. Now, tournament with prize pool, you're just going to have to keep a close eye on the stream and keep a close eye on the Facebook page of CVRcade and CVRcade Riders, as more information will become available. Currently, the Omnium leaders are Tim is number 2 and Quentin is leading it at the front in a number 1 position. And with the win on Rocky Mountains, he'll be tough to overcome, but that doesn't mean sudden lane change cannot be exciting here. As we've got Detroit, the Blue Lions. Now, as a Vikings fan, I welcome you to the chat, and definitely surprised I still have any voice left after this weekend's games, but go Vikes, as Peter is trying to get back up. Also known as the Flying Dutchman, he came onto the scene. He really made a name for himself. He was dominating. Then he got hit with a bit of illness, battling the flu, getting back in, and he's just trying to find the grips again. It's kind of like when you wake up, you gotta go down, have a glass of milk, and the lights are off, and you stumble out, and you're walking around, you're trying to find the light switch. It's kind of like that, but eventually you do find the light switch, and eventually you do get the glass of milk. I think that's going to be the story for Peter Kastrup here as the season moves on. Kayla in 4th, 190 equalized heart rate. We've got 1 kilometer remaining. Mixer chat, anyone who stayed over from channel 1, you're amazing. Anyone who joined us today from the front page, you rock here. Allison just barely avoids Phil. If you have enjoyed it, down below there's a follow button. To the left of it, or to the right of it, there is a subscribe button. If you hit either of the two, it means a lot to us. We're here pioneering the future of physical esports. This is so fun. It is incredibly intense and exciting to watch, especially when there's money on the line. There are beefs, there are stories, there are excitement. We've already seen Nils with 1 reaction. We've seen Kayla with another. Who knows what Season 2 is gonna bring. Make sure that you stick around for more of the racing as that happens. Tim here, 2nd place. He does fall all the way down to 4th place on the Omnium. We can see him focusing, we can see him trying to get back up here, having to push hard for 400 equalized watts to try and move on, but Quentin Molyneux is getting a lot of fans today. X-Gristler X says, keep it up, Quentin. Rhythmic Drummer says, old white sports? No, not necessarily. It doesn't have to be. It's cycling, but it's gamified. It's Alison Kubota. Oh, what is happening here? She is spinning. She was spinning for a second there. She was like a record player going just round and round. But she's back in. The winner is Tim on the front. Quentin gets 2nd. Kayla crosses the line in 3rd. And then you've got Peter in 5th. You've got Ben further down in 6th. Good racing here today. Tim takes 3rd. Ben, I think, apologies by the way, I think I got caught up in Allison's crash that I may have missed the finish there. That is on me. Apologies. It is the cup where we're trying to blow out. I can see my executive producer not happy with me, and I will take that on me as Beth crashes here as well. So go further back. Ryan, Racer Edge, goes on to the attack. Death Horse says, what is this? Making gaming physical? Yes, it is. Physical esports says Jennifer Garcia, subscribe to the channel. Thank you, Jennifer, for being awesome. So this is physical esports. But let's bring down the overall scoreboard in a second as Ryan will cross. And then we've got Phil, who's next out on track. Of course, Phil's first time, getting used to the platform, getting used to physical equalization. Phil, I know you're listening to this. I know you're watching. Awesome to see you on, man. Thursday. I hope to see you again. I hope to see you ready with your notes, with the maps, as we're going to have more racing this coming Thursday. But now we can bring on the instant replay here, as Quinten will win the overall, second Omnium of the day. Kayla will get second, Tim gets third, Allison gets fourth here. So as I am totally consumed by Allison's crash, you can see on the right hand side, Tim wins. I think Quinten waited for Tim, and so then Quinten gets second, Kayla gets third as they cross the finish line. So I do think maybe Tim waited towards the end. Yes, that was the case. Quinten waited, tried to get Tim second place. Kayla had none of it. Kayla secures the second place. So as the night comes to a close, let's get some finishing thoughts from Quinten Molyneux. I guess first on up, everybody's asking, the cramp, is it there? How bad is it? What's happening?
It's still there. It was just quite the episode when I finished the third race, but I kind of got rid of it during the last race, apparently. Not sure how I did that, but it's okay now.
Now, I may have just missed it, but it looked like you waited for Tim at the end. Was that correct?
Yeah, I did. A good thing that Tim called me up, because I didn't have a clue what was happening on the scoreboard. If Allison didn't crash, we would have had 1 and 2 locked up, but too bad that Allison crashed, and Kayla still could keep her second place. But yeah, that was a strategy to wait up for Tim to get him on the podium at least.
Well, it almost worked out, but you still... Yeah, well, it did work out. You didn't get second, but you did get third. Quinten, good to have you back. I mean, if you had to picture a better start, it couldn't really happen. 2 Omniums, getting stage wins in here. Is 2020 going to be the year of Quinten Molyneux?
I don't know. I think 2020 is going to be a year full of surprises and full of a lot of fun and a lot of suffering. So it's just going to depend on who has the better day, who will take the win. But it's going to be a fun year for sure.
Well, thank you, Quinten. Now let's go and hear from Kayla. She got second place in that last race. Kayla, first Omnium back. Cobwebs are blown out. I mean, that's some really good racing. You maintain your second place towards the end, but it got close.
Yeah, it definitely got close. Congrats to Quinten and Team Cycling Hub. That was, great efforts on that and good tactics. But yeah, it comes down to every event and, crashing in other ones and your positions in that and all the points they add up at the end. But, it's great to be back, and I'm excited for what 2020 has for CVRcade. And, yeah, it's just great to be back with the community and racing with everyone. Just have so much fun doing this. So we'll see what happens, but it's a second place. I'm happy with coming back. So hopefully it's just up from there.
Well, when you're second to Quinten Molyneux, I mean, that is something you got to take with you in pride. Congratulations, Kayla. I'm sure we'll see more of you later on tonight in Zone T as that begins in 7 hours' time. To get some closing thoughts from Tim Fulford, who came across the line in third. Tim, we saw you at the end there, just dialed in. You almost got second place, but you satisfied with how today went?
Yeah, it hurt quite a lot. I've just realised I had a different resistance set up, so I've just been pushing mud for 2 hours. So it's felt like a cross race, I think. But no, great exercise, great racing. Cheers for Q for giving it to me. I had to ring him, but I thought it'd be nice to get on the podium. Yeah, good to be back. 2020 is going to be a big year, I think. So good to start it like this.
Let's do it. Thank you very much. Tim, you were seeing the highlights of Zones K and L, but while we were doing that, DK Mansuni subscribed to the channel. That is support. Thank you so much. Now, if anyone else want to subscribe in, we'll shout out your name. We'll make you an absolute rock star, put you on the CVRcade Wall of Fame, right next to all the crashes that have happened on Castrop Corner, on Country Rally, on Dark Matter Velo, on Sudden Lane Change. Yes, you'll be in good company. These are the highlights. We saw the story today was blowing out the cobwebs for the racers. Even for me, I felt a bit rusty, but I'm glad that you guys were in the chat. You really made it fun today. The racers were good. The chat was good. The stream was lively. We got subscriptions. You guys are amazing. echelon today, both times won by Peter Castro. He comes back, but can he translate that? Can he transfer that energy into the longer races? Can he figure out the combination for the medium to high skill events? He struggled with them, but now here in the low skills, he's got them. Beth is back, Ryan is back, Jennifer and Frank Garcia are back in. I think it'll be good. Phil was in here, Chris was in here. Excited to see new racers make it in and getting accustomed to the platform because it is so different. In the chat, you see Death Horse asking, are there categories with this, like different tensions or what's? Yes and no. So there's one overall arching category because it's physical equalization. So yes, every rider is in a different category of fitness of their own, but thanks to physical equalization, it doesn't matter if you know wattage term. If you have 1,000 watts to spend or 100, doesn't matter. Physical equalization is magic. I mean, imagine a magician pulling a rabbit out of a hat. That is what Frank Garcia has done to the physical esports world, which makes it very, very fun. As Quentin in the chat says, no one's going to believe me when they say I am dead. Rightfully so. As we saw, Rocky Mountains, instant classic. We've only spent 7 days in 2020, and we already have an instant classic when it comes to CVRcade racing. Tim on the front, here's Ryan. Yes, less set the better, as somewhere around Nigel's going, nice try, Ryan. Let me give you some tips. But Rocky Mountain was good. You got Tim attacking earlier. Looked like he wouldn't get caught, but the riders behind, they were all just eagerly working together to try and get back up. Beth was being distanced as Tim on the front here was attacking away. Very, very good here. As Death Horse says, I was curious, like, cause how light you can make the pedaling. So, yes, technically there are ways, like you have the resistance on depending on your equipment. You'll have smart trainers that give you the resistance changes, which is ultimately the most awesome experience you can have. Or you can have dumb trainers. It all changes, as DK Matsuni says. You are the new Sebastian. It's been really fun having you guys here. I see we've gone down to 443, so we've lost a few viewers as the stream ended. That's of course to be expected, but the remaining of you, 403, and yes, or 443, yes, you. I know you're sitting there doing your homework, or you're playing Fortnite, or I remember when, I think his name was like Torres something, Eric Torres. He was playing Fortnite, he was watching Liverpool play football, he was watching the stream, he was downloading CVRcade at the same time. I know you guys are multitasking, but you're watching this. Stop, take a minute, go to your Mixer tab, down below. There's a follow button, there's a subscribe button. Click either or, and it just means the world to us, guys. I mean, I know you found this today either through channel 1 or the front page, and this is the first time you come across it. Maybe you stick around. Maybe, you know, you put a pin, you take your page, you put a little note at the top saying, this is a good one, this is a good page. I'll be back next time I read this book, and I'll pay attention to this page. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I enjoyed being back. In 7 hours time, we'll have more streaming live right here on Mixer. Beth York, I believe, will be in the broadcasting booth helping out, so she'll be taking over. And if you've got any questions, I will gladly here at the Falling Rope take any questions you may have about the game. So we have a lot of people in here. Feel free to ask some questions, because it's not every day we have 434 people in here. So you've been kind of lurking, you've been thinking, okay, this is interesting, but you must have questions. You must have something that you have been eager to ask, thinking, surely this is too good to be true. It's free to play, it's exercise, it's gaming, and I can win money? I mean, let's hear your questions, as you've got DK Mansuni saying already done. I know you've already subscribed, and you are by definition one of the rock stars of the day, together with Beth, Kayla, Homer, Quentin. You join right in there. You've got Crucible saying instead of a blue heart, a blue bike is needed, or to follow the stream. I agree. Not sure how we do that, but that's definitely something we should do. But as we are on the falling rope, any questions we'll gladly take on, and I'll give you a second more to click that blue heart to stay up to date on everything CVRcade. DK Mansuni says, how difficult is track building? Well, we've just had a track building competition, which we'll announce the winner of shortly. It's really not that difficult. We've had ranging, we had masterpieces such as Homer Thompson's World of Trees to the Ben Shuilong's Killer K's. It's as difficult as you make it. The more complicated you want to make your track, the longer it's going to take, the more difficult it is. But if you have an idea, you want to make a bowl. You want to make a bowl of soup in the CVRcade track builder, and you want to race it. It's easy. Go in, make a circle, put in put an object, put it in, done, publish it. You can write it with your friend. Poke Breaker says, how do I get into this? Very, very simple. Depending on the level of equipment you have, well, no matter what, go to www.CVRcade.com. When you go there, there's going to be a download link. If you download the game, then first of all, you have the game on your computer. That's it. You're already one step ahead of most of the boomers. And when you get in the game, you go to the hardware store, and then you can see the equipment that matches your needs. If you already have a bike, that's majority of the expense already gone. If you don't have a bike, you can buy one through the hardware store. If you have your own bike, hook it up, get on the game, send the signals, get racing. And then you've got Death Horse. But anyway, guys, I think it's a good time to end it here. Thank you so much on behalf of the CVRcade team. We'll be back in 7 hours. You've been awesome. We'll see you with more racing here, right here on Mixer in 7 hours. But no, Beth, yours goes crashing down. Determination, the suffering, the ability to... And she's unleashed everything in this attack. See just how much that win means to him. All the marbles. Kayla versus Allison, and to the line. Kayla Laguna takes the victory.